Yeah.
Okay, we calling the cops, right? Like the first time you're gonna get expelled or suspended for a couple days or whatever. But that next time, SRO's taking you out and you going, we calling the DA on it.
And I know
So
Ferg ready to jump in, but even that, Rozzy, even the story makes me wonder how serious we're taking it. This guy had to do it to 13 different girls before something was done.
mhm.
And I'm wondering how serious do authority figures, do law enforcement take a girl or even a woman's butt being grabbed? Hey, officer, he just grabbed my butt. So you didn't like it, or what you want me to like?
What up, what up, what up, what up? It's Three Brothers No Sense. It's late. Your favorite late night barbershop style podcast. This is your boy Ferg, joined my co-host Buff and Rozzy. Fellas, what do it do?
Appreciate the shop opening up after hours for us. You know what I mean? Only thing I got is, first off, our bad, audience, or at least my bad. So much going on last week. Forgot to mention that Radrick Davis, aka Gucci Mane,
We didn't talk about that.
got robbed by his own rapper in Dallas back in January.
Allegedly.
Pardon me, allegedly. Yo, if this is true, Pooh Shiesty is not the brightest bulbs. Okay. Someone should have told him forcing someone at gunpoint to sign a contract is not valid, sir. It's so, all this was for nothing. Now the rest of your life may be ruined, which from what I understand, when I learned of this, I had never heard a Pooh Shiesty song to my knowledge. So I went and listened to a couple. And from what I gathered, you're kind of used to prison. So maybe you're not as mad as I think you are. I don't know. But
Street code, baby. Allegedly.
yeah, street code. You got Gucci Mane rapping about it on a diss track where he's pretty much, in a way, he's snitching because he's telling the details. But, street code.
Mm-hmm. Hey, maybe he would have done better than String a Bell.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm on this crusade, listeners, as a Wire fan. A lot of people watch The Wire and come away thinking, yo, wow, that Stringer Bell, he was really a smart guy. And what actually happened is Stringer Bell took a couple of community classes. And when you compare that to Corner Boys, then yeah, he is smart. But whenever he went against Prop Joe, Clay Davis, anybody that's above that education level, he came out short. So there's that. And fellas, I see more and more former VP Harris. That's better. Former VP Harris is considering running for president again. Are you guys here for part 2 of that, or should she? No, she should stand down.
I'm okay with her running as long as we have a primary. Because the thing, if she wins the primary, that means she has enough support behind her. She earned it, and I think people will get behind her at that point. I don't think she's going to win the primary, so that's another reason why I really don't care. But I think as long as there's a primary, I'm fine with her running, and if she wins, I'm gonna get right behind her, just like I did, even when there was no primary. But I think it gives her a better chance.
I will
wish
say,
we could do sound bites, man.
Well, so what you mean? What do you mean?
I'll be like, this is America. Like, y'all keep acting like we don't stay here in America with 3 Ks. Like,
okay, if we have an election, I think running against Trump a couple of years ago did make her tougher. And my hope is that she learned a lot from it, and she'll be able to bring that experience into 2028 if she does indeed decide to run. And I think if you look at what she did in that short amount of time, like, you have to think, what could she do with a lot more time? And already right now, I feel like she's doing some of the groundwork with the states and communities that she's visiting and talking to people. So it's still a long ways away. A lot can happen. A lot may not happen, according to Ferg. You know what I'm saying? But just was curious what y'all thought about that, man.
I'm just saying, let's say y'all have this imaginary election that you guys are speculating is going to happen. This is America, dog. She was 10 times better candidate than he was a year and a half ago. It doesn't matter about her qualifications. None of that matters.
But
she's not
the
getting
thought
running.
is she
She's
won't
not
be
running
running against him.
Trump. Yeah. That's the other part. Like we got to say, if we have an election, she won't be running against Trump.
I know.
If who have an election and won't be running against what Trump?
If America has an election in 2028, it'll probably mean because Trump's not running. Okay. If he wants a third term, then we probably won't have an election. Do you agree with that?
I mean, that's a possibility. Or he'll run, and no matter what the outcome is, he's going to win. And considering America showed that they are not ready, qualifications do not matter. And to the point, I don't have enough faith in the American voting public, that Kamala can do anything or say anything to prove that she's not a black woman. Unless she can prove that she's not a black woman.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy,
the only
by the
thing.
way.
That's the only thing that matters. Like, think about it. That's the only thing. She's way more educated, way more qualified, way more dignified, way more than he ever was and ever will be. And she still lost.
So this is from the POV that he won't run. So if he doesn't run and we do have an election.
I mean, yeah, sure.
So other than that, man, y'all need to get your coins up. If your ladies is a Chris Brown or Usher fan, they just announced the R&B Tour, Raymond and Brown. It looks like tickets go on sale Thursday. So hey,
have they listed the tour dates and all that?
Seen it. I guess that'll come sometime. Probably I can see it dropping like on Monday or whatever.
Yeah. Fellas, work on your body roll.
So that should be exciting for the people that go.
I hope it's wintertime because I'm gonna go in there with an R&B coat.
I was literally thinking of that. Like, Buff, they have it in DC in the winter. I'm gonna have my R&B. That's R&B coat season, baby.
And, it's a stadium tour too. So because I remember I saw Kendrick Lamar in Chicago and it was freezing. So and it wasn't even that cold. Like it wasn't even wintertime and it was like freezing. So I can only imagine.
I'm not.
Oof, ain't no domes. Ain't no domes in the Northeast. It's all open stadiums around here.
Jerry's World. Jerry World it is. Yeah. What you got for us, Razi?
Couple things. You guys, we talked a little bit about Drewski and his skit. Jake Paul is trying to, I guess, take advantage of that and tried to put on a blackface. And Drewski just roasted him for it. And so that was hilarious. But I just think Jake Paul's trying to everything he can just to take advantage of the moment and get some, I get he wants people to talk about him. He wants people to talk about it and try to go after him because he's putting on blackface. But I think blackface is kind of evolved where we're not, if you put on makeup to look like a black person, that's not necessarily blackface, as in you're doing like shucking and jiving, ham-boing, Sambo, that type of thing. So I did want to ask you guys kind of that. What do you feel about kind of that him doing blackface and everything? Or do we want to put that off and maybe I had that as a question?
My answer's pretty quick. I don't care.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't care really, but it's definitely blackface. Like there's no, it hasn't evolved. You only do that for one reason. Unless you're an actor, Robert Downey Jr. is the only person that's really done it successfully. And it was a satire of a satire of a satire. No, it hasn't evolved. It was racist. He wanted a reaction. He wanted to, it's still, just because we're less sensitive about those things doesn't make the intent any better.
Get it as if you are going and putting it on to do stereotypes of black people, that's where I feel like it's different than like
He's
Jake
not
Paul right
doing that
now.
for
He's doing
he's
that
not
he's making fun of a particular person, right?
No,
Like
he's
he is
not.
he's
No,
dressing up
he's
as
not.
Drewski
No, he's
and
not. No,
doing and
he's
playing
not.
like Drewski.
No,
So
he's
did
not.
He's literally recreating Drewski's skits. So
did he
Be-
do it, or he's talking about doing it?
he's done it.
So that wasn't AI. That was him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I saw
He
that.
did it to get a reaction because it's backlash from us allowing a black man to do it. It is steeped in racism. Jake Paul is not a like comedian, smart guy that's trying to shine a light on something. He did it to get a reaction. He did it for us to talk about it on his damn show. Like the dude, that's the dude you want to go have beer with?
No.
Would you be surprised if he uses a hard E?
No.
He has done it before, I think.
Has he? Oh.
And so that's my thing. It is steeped in racism. And now he can hide behind this. Is the only reason he did it is to get away with it because, well, y'all didn't have a problem with Drewski doing it. That's the reason he did Drewski. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I like I said, I'm not as outraged about it.
No, we're not surprised by stupidity anymore. Like it's just it's not as harmful, but no, it's not. He's not that enlightened. He's not that smart. He's not that talented.
He's just not
that
important, really. Like, I'm not in his world. I know he's very popular among, he came up through the whole YouTube fighting. I'm not in that world. I love boxing, and he doesn't really matter in boxing. In fact, my favorite boxing moment is his last fight when he got his jaw broke in 2 different places. And I love that part. So, other than that, like when I think of boxing, I don't think of Jake Paul exactly. So he doesn't really factor. So when I saw he announced he was going to do it, I was like, knock yourself out, Clint. Champ.
I mean, there's announcing that you're going to do it. Like it. Yeah.
It was the call. I mean, he the same way he does these boxing matches. It was to get eyes. It was to get. He's trying to sell clicks. I mean, that's what it is. He's trying to enrich himself off of it.
Racism sells clicks,
and that's the other part too. He's trying to,
it's rage baiting.
But he's also he wants that MAGA crowd too.
Mm-hmm.
So he felt like
who will defend tooth and nail that it's not a problem if black people can do it. I mean, Donald Trump, the president of the United States, talked about a Drewski skit. He was that outraged. Come on, man. Keep it moving, Ryzen.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
I can't believe
for the comic fans out there. I don't know if you guys remember the millennials might the show Mask or the cartoon Mask.
Cartoon?
Yeah. So they are relaunching the comic, which usually signals that they may be relaunching the cartoon at some point. So I'm kind of excited about that.
I feel like
what they'll do is they'll write some comics, right? And then that's what they'll use to create the cartoon. So it's kind of dope if they actually get it right. Mask is set in for those that don't know about like the comic settings there, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Mask are all in the same universe in the comics. And so they're relaunching that along with like some Transformer type stuff and everything like that. They'll tie it in there. But it's going to have its own comic book. So I'm kind of excited for it. I think I'm going to actually watch it or read it just to see what's happening with it. Because I love the show.
Yeah. I mean, the show was good. The concept was better.
Yeah, exactly.
The concept and the toys, like it's just like the idea of that.
Yep.
But no, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I saw something about it and I thought it was just, AI or something. So I just keep scrolling.
Yeah, but no, it's coming back from, and like I said, that's the comic, but still, that's a good sign for maybe the cartoon. And finally, throatgoat2017@gmail.com or whatever you had with your crazy email addresses, Google's gonna let you redo your email, and you still maintain access to all your old emails. So that's pretty cool that you can go in, you can do it once a year. And you're able to go back and change your email and still have access to all your old emails. And so you don't have to like create a new email and flip back and forth and everything. So for those folks out there with the crazy emails that you set up when you were in high school and stuff like that, go ahead and update it to, your name whatever at Gmail, so that you can have a professional email address. Please, please, please do that, because I do still get resumes with some of the weirdest Gmail accounts on there, and I'm like, you should have had a professional resume or a professional email on there. So please change those emails, and Google's giving you the opportunity to do it.
Did
Funny.
you get an email letting you know that you can change your email?
No, again, Future Tech. They on
I'm
it.
just
So
letting you
follow
know,
Future
brother.
Tech.
You be in your
You'll
bad
get those.
stage. I never know what happened.
Hey, I can have that Razio SWAT that I'm still rolling with. So, hey.
All right.
Hey, keep people putting the whole email out there.
Block that out.
Funny you mentioned Nancy Reagan's email first. That's an inside joke, folks. That's an inside joke. If you didn't get it, just keep it moving.
He done married me for my cooking. I'm just saying.
Lord have mercy.
I don't have a lot. I'm gonna play catch. Well, couple of show updates. Paradise. What the hell?
They left room for season 3.
Man, definitely season 3 coming out. Definitely season 3. When I say never saw it coming, never saw any of that coming. And Z, the show before, maybe was it the last show or the second to last show, when she said her and her people at work were having, they had a couple of theories, and she started mentioning, I don't want to spoil it, but when she started mentioning like the plot twists, I'm like, there's no way. And she's like, but no, when they did this and this and think about the letter and all that, I was like, well, I'll be damned. Hey,
I gotta
man,
go back and check this out.
Man, yeah. Sterling K. Brown is definitely becoming one of my favorite actors. I mean, that dude, he's
Do you think
does.
he's going to be stuck in TV? Because I know he's done a couple of big movies, but they kind of don't ever hit, right? Like most of his movies, especially if you go to big screen, don't really do all that well. So do you think he's going to be stuck as a TV actor, even though he's really, really good?
I mean, never say never. I definitely can. I still see a place for him.
Yeah, just saying it's the right role. It's the right role, right script. I don't think he's blackballed.
No, I don't think Hollywood's saying, because he's getting parts, and I don't know if he's just not accepting the right ones or what.
I mean,
right?
he's only been in I only can think of one movie. What other movies has been in?
No, he did the one with Taraji, right? The televangelist movie.
That's the only one I can think of.
He was in the movie. He was the gay brother in the movie about the writer or whatever.
I forgot the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I mean, he was in Black Panther.
Cameo. That's
yeah,
cameo.
it was a cameo. Yeah. So
I think I don't think he's really explored. I don't think he's taken the golden screen seriously yet. I don't think he's tried to venture too much in that.
yeah,
I could see him being the leading man or at least a co-lead in multiple movies, but I'm trying to think, what was the last real big black movie that came out?
The Sinners count or no? Because it's not really black. It's a black lad.
I would say that. That but even before that, I can't really think of like black cinema has really been hitting outside of action.
So American Fiction is the book Razi's talking about.
yeah.
And then he was in Honk for Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one with Taraji or
Yeah.
whoever.
And
That
I'm
was
talking about more
Taraji,
of
that
him.
was Regina.
Oh yeah, that
Hall.
was Regina Hall. Yeah.
So, but I'm thinking like,
And I'm talking about him as a lead, right? Not or co-lead.
Yeah,
Not like just like you said.
but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's really.
I
I don't think he's really went out there yet. I don't think he. There's no way he thought that Honk for Jesus is going to be his big break. Like that. That wasn't an Independence Day. But now that I think about it, I'm trying to think outside of action movies and Sinners, when was the last really big blockbuster type movie with a black lead?
And
I could be wrong.
and I don't think he has to be. Oh, you said blockbuster, not action. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, like I'm thinking like there's no Independence Day. There's no Will Smith movies, no big Denzel movies. Like who has been the who is the lead black actor right now?
That's a good question.
I would say if he follows up, Michael B. Jordan can position himself to be in this.
And that's what we're talking about Sinners. Like, you know.
Yeah, but before that there was Creed 3. Because it would have been who got what's his name got canceled.
Jonathan Majors,
right? It was him for a second. He was gonna be that, and so I think it's a little bit of that too.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, that's a lot of that's taught to Marvelverse and stuff like that. So, because I mean, you got Chadwick Boseman. If we're talking about it, it's just like how the movie world's changed, like how Denzel stood out in
Speaking of
Independence Day.
That's who I see Sterling K. Brown could be. Is the next Chadwick Boseman, right? The next drama actor. Because you got to think Chadwick had like what was it?
Well, he was known for playing everybody. Jackie Robinson,
Jackie Robinson,
James
Thurgood
Brown.
Marshall, James Brown. Like that's what I'm saying. Is like I think Sterling K. Brown could be that, the next drama actor, right? I think Michael B. Jordan has the action there. And what's the new guy that's playing the Green Lantern? I think he's gonna be kind of a new one too. What was it?
I guess Idris. Idris is probably. I mean,
Idris is older. He's aging out.
How old is he? Because I see Sterling is 50.
Sterling's 50. He was out. I thought he was our age. But you know, like, so that might be it. But like, that dude in shape.
Yeah,
that dude is in shape.
Yeah, he definitely could be. Like Chadwick did play in 21 Bridges, which is like action. I think Sterling K. Brown could pull that off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we've seen him as has he pigeonholed himself as a nice guy too much, but seeing him, he's gonna have to pull a Denzel and have to become a villain or something.
Aaron Pierre, that's who I'm thinking about. I had to look him up. You know who Aaron Pierre is?
Yeah, he light skinned. Yeah, the world ain't gonna follow no light skinned actor. Light skinned actors they never pan out. Who's the last big light skinned actor?
I have to think about it.
I guess Will is the closest thing.
Will light skin?
I mean, Brown. He's the lightest one.
Carlton.
He's darker than Will. What Carlton you talking about? But Paradise, man. Paradise, really good show. Daredevil season 2.
Yeah.
The last episode, when I say as soon as I saw the ending of the last episode, it made me think of Paid in Full. When Money Making Mitch was like, I'm gonna be on some murderous, like when he just kind of like, anybody that ever wronged me, like, I'm like, this dude about to go ham.
Yeah, it's about to go on.
It's about to go down. He about to be on this Trump stuff. But
Wednesday.
That's the funny thing. When I watch Daredevil and I watch Mayor Kingpin, I cannot help just see the similarities in him and Trump.
Yeah.
They're leaning into it, I think, a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
with the anti-villain task force is ICE and doing they are.
Yeah, I mean, it's laughable. It's laughable.
I love how Hollywood is really taking this in and like showing the viewers exactly what it is and what it's like. The Pit is another one that got really big accolades for their episode of ICE coming into the hospital. And if you guys don't know what the Pit is, I think Ferg, you mentioned it, right? It's like that ER type of show. And they had an episode where ICE came in and it was a really powerful episode that, you know, a lot of people were talking about. So I think Hollywood in general is really doing a lot to show what's actually happening and how it's affecting people.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna keep it light, man. I mean, because we could talk about Iran ceasefire as being a laughing stock of
12 hours,
the world.
I think is what it lasted. We had a ceasefire for all the 12 hours. Oh, I didn't start with we're still at war. My bad. Gotta let everybody know that. Forgot about that. But we're still at war.
Yeah, I mean, kinda. I mean, It depends what Israel want to tell us to do. It's Strait of Hormuz is kind of open, maybe. No,
It was open for
what's
12
it?
hours. They let three
But
ships through, and then Israel bombed Lebanon.
I thought they were still letting them through. I can't keep up. I stopped watching. But we are winning the war though.
Mm-hmm. Let Trump tell it.
Who else are you gonna listen to?
The soldiers that got bombed just went back and said, no, we weren't safe, and we didn't have any type of anti missile type of defense, no bomb shelters, anything like that where we were posted. So no, we weren't safe.
That's lack of training. I mean,
Yeah,
isn't that what the White House is saying? They
that's
weren't
what they.
prepared.
Yeah.
They weren't. So, but hey, let's go ahead and jump into it. You kind of brought up a question. I didn't know if we wanted to continue the conversation we were having in our group today. Or do you think that is
I was
that?
thinking about that, bro. I was thinking
I
about
feel
that.
like it was a good conversation.
Let's go for it.
Who posted?
I did. I enjoyed some of the back and forth you and Cooley had, to be honest. So for the listeners, let me had I known I would have like actually pulled up an entire story. But I sent a screenshot. So up here in Northern Virginia, one of the counties that surrounds Washington, D.C. is Fairfax County. And they put out Fairfax High student found guilty of assault for grabbing butts of other students. And it just says that a student at Fairfax High School was convicted yesterday of assault. So I kind of sent it to the group, and I led it with the comment of, not saying they're wrong, just kind of glad this wasn't back in the 90s. Just thinking about some of my childhood behavior as early as elementary. So it started a really good discussion though, man, to where we as men have blind spots at times. We also, at our age, sometimes it can be a little difficult to adjust to what's no longer. And that's kind of the dialogue that we were having in the group, man. So it's kind of your question, Ferg. I know. So what direction did you want to take it?
I mean, I think what the hot button was, because nobody in the group said that the guy was right. It was just about the level of punishment that these kids, essentially kids, should receive. And in this case, they're being tried as an adult, right, Buff? And so I think we gave a hypothetical of, how harsh is too harsh. Could they be labeled a sex offender, which is something they're really doing quickly these days, is labeling people as sex offenders. Should this go on their permanent record? Is this mistake worthy of potentially screwing up this young man's life or the perpetrator's life?
Okay. I think this even would have changed Sherman's mind. Just want to interrupt. I'm reading the first paragraph, folks. I'll keep his name out. If you want to look it up, you can see his name. An 18-year-old who was currently a junior at school was found guilty of 9 misdemeanor counts. He grabbed more than a dozen of his female classmates' butts. This brother got a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I even kind of said that. I'm like, it said butts.
Yeah,
like,
that's
he grabbed one.
That's one of the exchanges.
It said butts. It's not like he just grabbed an ass and got punched and, so be it. But I mean, he is the extreme, but we brought it to, because we can always go to extreme and throw the book at people, but it's when we go back, just being truthful and transparent. Even when the Me Too movement came out, it was like we said we grew up in, I forgot what the term was, the environment prior to the, coming the mid to late 2000s. A lot of things that boys and people did was just kind of deemed as, boys will be boys. It's what people did, boys touching girls' butts and all that stuff. And it's true. It was kind of part of what boys did. Not in full stop. It was wrong. Everybody in the group agreed that it was wrong. And so the situation what you're saying is on these random good guy, your 15-year-old son grabbed somebody's ass just because he thought he was playing and he thought she had a nice ass. His friend dared him or something.
Yeah.
What is a legit punishment? And there was you can jump in.
I was gonna say, I think we probably should separate your hypothetical question from
This situation, because
this
this
situation
is
because this young
that's
man,
extreme.
this young man, he first off,
Is a molester
he's being tried as an adult.
because he's
This
an
is-
adult.
This was in a 1 week span, by the way. From February 25th to March 4th, he grabbed 13 different girls' butts. Now, his defense tried to argue that it was incidental contact because it's a very packed and dense school and his hand just accidentally grazed. But there's a difference between graze and grab. So he is different. He faces anywhere from 1 to 10 years. So we're not talking about him.
No,
In the
let's not
group
talk
chat,
about
we were talking about kind of what Ferg just said. 15-year-old boy. Matter of fact, we brought this up. What was this last week? The movie The Wood, or
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. The movie The Wood, where he, the girl he liked, and he was kind of dared to do it. He went up and grabbed her butt.
Stuff that dumb kids do. I
Yeah.
mean, that's growing up, right?
Should that be punishable with being charged as a criminal? Because I think I made the comment in our day, the big risk was either getting hit by the girl or maybe get jumped by her brothers and his friends. That was, and you weighed that consequence like, man, I'm gonna risk that and just hope she don't hit me and just do it.
Or I just take the hit.
Right. And then today we're talking about criminally charging, like, for those of you who have sons, your 15-year-old son does something that's stupid. Is that the direction we need to go? And I think, Ferg, you had some pretty interesting takes, some strong takes. I think some agreeable takes on it too, man. So I'm not sure where Rozzy fell on it.
Oh, I'll let you guys, because I don't know whose question it is. So Rozzy kind of had a strong opinion.
I did, because I don't disagree that it should be a misdemeanor, probably, right? A misdemeanor criminal offense. Like you are but you're a juvenile and you try them as a juvenile, and maybe it's, hey, you got to do some community service, or we're gonna make you go to this course or whatever,
take some sexual assault classes.
Sexual assault
Yeah.
classes. You're gonna do something because you should not have done it, and I think that is where we should be, because being a father of a daughter or two daughters, right? It's like, if a dude did that to my daughter, what would I want to happen, right? And so that's my whole thing, is hold them accountable. And like you said, would that stop some of it? Because some of those boys are like, I'll grab this girl butt because she's only going to punch me, and maybe her brother will beat me up, but I'm not going to shoplift because I know it's illegal and it's wrong, right? You don't shoplift. So guess what? Now that we say, hey, you can be tried, it's illegal and it's wrong, you're going to get a misdemeanor. If she tells the teacher tells administration calls the cops, you're going to get a sexual assault charge and you're going to be going to jail for it. Or not jail, right? They'll slap a ticket on it and fine, and they'll book you, and their parents got to come get you and all that stuff. Maybe every once in a while a boy will do it, but I think more boys will be like, hey, bruh, don't do that. Even if somebody did, like, guys, growing up, they'd be like, I bet you won't steal that Snickers. And you went ahead and you did it anyway, right? Or you didn't do it. And so you get to make that choice because you got to know what's wrong. And so I feel like I'm totally okay with it being ingrained and enshrined and saying, hey, this is a misdemeanor offense and we're going to start holding you accountable for that.
It's definitely about, so I think if we do that, I would like to see, starting at middle school, just like when you get hired at a job, you got to do the little sexual harassment classes or whatever, watch that little video. I think the seriousness of it needs to be reported more and more. It needs to be stated more and more because, especially back in our day, and I would say maybe even to today in a lot of corners, it's still not. We look at sexual assault as like grape. We know the word, take the G off. We look at it as grape or some type of penetration or genitals or whatever making contact. That's usually what most people, like everybody knows that's some type of sexual assault if it's non-consensual. But groping and grabbing women, that is, I would say, relatively new on a universal level of, hey, this is also included in sexual assault. You know what I mean? And so we need to teach our kids that, like we've said this many times on this show, parents, society, we do a good job of telling girls what to look for as far as dangerous behaviors in boys. But are we doing the same thing with our boys and telling them not to do this dangerous behavior? And so the parents, along with the schools, are going to have to, really start putting out there. We as a society need to put out there that it's. I'm a little hesitant to say just as bad because of how serious I look at grape, but it's bad, and there's no need to even worry about which one is worse than the other. It's bad, and you shouldn't do it. Anything that isn't consensual that involves touching another person, don't do it. And we need to drive that home with our boys, because we've done enough of telling our girls how to protect themselves, how to, you may not want to dress like that when you go here and things like that. But we need to talk to our young men and tell them what they need to not do.
Yeah, and
Ag-
I think one of the like Cooley's biggest concerns, he talked about, do we want to
Ruin.
criminalize these
Yeah.
boys right at this age for doing that? Fighting's also illegal, right? That is assault, and 90% of fights you don't go to jail for. They don't call the police on it when you're fighting. You get expelled, you do whatever. And so I think that's kind of the same thing that should or would happen from administration is, we got to look at, is it 9 times? Is this your 4th time doing it?
Yeah.
Okay, we calling the cops, right? Like the first time you're gonna get expelled or suspended for a couple days or whatever. But that next time, SRO's taking you out and you going, we calling the DA on it.
And I know
So-
Ferg ready to jump in, but even that, Rozzy, even the story makes me wonder how serious we're taking it. This guy had to do it to 13 different girls before something was done.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering, how serious do authority figures, do law enforcement take a girl or even a woman's butt being grabbed? Hey, officer, he just grabbed my butt. So you didn't like it, or what you want me to like? He had to do it 13 times. And even in your example, you was like, is it the 4th? Is it the 5th time? Like, when does it get to the point, if it happens one time and you're able to find out that he did it, he's going to face consequences? Like, I'm even today, even in this story, I'm wondering, is it being taken serious enough?
No, I don't think it is. And I mean, the man me agrees with everything you said. But I try to come from an unbiased standpoint, and even this time, maybe a little more biased and defending women is the fact that at no point do we say how this affected the woman. We're just saying how this is going to affect the man, right?
Don't ruin his life.
It's gonna. But I have an 11-year-old daughter who is growing, and her body's changing, and she's at that very vulnerable stage where she's not get used to guys looking at her a certain way. So these little things could be an impact. There's girls walking around cringing because of this. You don't know what's going on at home. This is to me almost the difference in fighting and bullying. There's people committing suicide and having low self-esteem and doing other things because they are being bullied. And 30 years ago, dog, bullying, man, grow up. Like, bullying, we overlooked at how impactful bullying is. That's just part of being a kid, man. Either you're the bully or you get bullied. Like, just
Make it
punch him in the
tougher.
face.
It'll make it tougher.
And so it's, even though I think and Rising, when we were talking on the group, I wasn't saying, and I hope it didn't come across that I disagreed with what the punishment could be. I think as men, we have to say, there has to be a panel of women to tell us how this really impacts them. And because we haven't done a good job of stopping this. we've always known it was wrong, right? And so men have always kind of led the charge on what we need to stop this and do. It's still going on. So there has to be something where, like, if you had a panel of 100 sensible women who aren't trying to just throw men under the bus and just saying, okay, same arguments, hey, this is your son, da, da, da. But it's like, hey, something has to teach them. Somebody has to teach them that they're wrong. And just like any major change, probably that first group of people is going to suffer. There's going to be a lot of people who are probably going to go for it. And then knowing that, the judge will probably make some, if you go to this, we'll waive it now. 10 years from now, if you're still doing it, if you know that this is wrong, yeah, you throw the book at them or whatever the people being affected by this think is reasonable. So I looked at it as, white people trying to say how black people should respond to this. Well, it's not that bad. And like, how can you tell me how that feels when I see this or I hear that this is done to me?
Yeah,
And so
I don't like the idea of only women should decide anything.
I'm not
with
saying
that,
that
right?
they should be I think we should get their counsel, because we were talking about this whole time we talked about not hurting him. That's a whole conversation. We even related to it because we were like, man, nobody wants to be the victim. I don't think any of us were bad guys, and we did some of this stuff growing up. And so we kind of like, well, it can't be that bad because I did something similar and I'm not a bad guy. And so that's what when I was talking about, we empathize and can almost share some of those feelings, because I think, Byron, you shared a story where somebody accused you of something and how that felt.
Yeah.
Right? Being accused of something. Yeah. And so you don't want this guy to be falsely accused or whatever. And I get it. We want to protect people. But at the same time, I think women should lead this charge, and we should get more understanding of the overall impact that this is having on them before we as men saying, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, you think him touching her ass is worth him going to jail or getting put on his record? Maybe for these women who are scared of men or who just felt violated or whatever the case may be, I will never know what that feels like. And so I can't begin to understand it's almost like when white people downplay like the impact of slavery or racism. It's like, it's not as bad as it used to be. Yeah, but there's a long lasting effect that still has on all of us.
Yeah,
And so
I feel like Ferg is saying anything that impacts women, they should have some input. I don't know if at least all women, but
no, but I think they should start giving us, the council should start coming from them. We should understand the overall impact of
that, or they are doing that.
Are we
that's
listening?
That's the reason why sexual assault is such a big deal as it is, because women led that charge and said it's wrong. Guys stopped he-ing about it and everything.
It's still not a big deal. You can get away
because
with
it. You can get away with it. That's what I'm saying.
It's still places you can get away with grabbing that. If at school, yes, you're gonna probably get in trouble now. You do it at a club,
yeah,
you're good to go.
So, but again, that's the Me Too movement really kind of proposed, like what you're saying about women should be leading that. That's what the Me Too movement was.
Yeah, progress has been made. I think
progress has been made because women are pushing that. I'm not saying we're done and it's mission accomplished. What I'm saying is women are already there making that a big deal. That's why these conversations about, hey, grabbing an ass is sexual assault, that wouldn't have happened. That conversation wouldn't have happened without women doing exactly what you're talking about, saying this is not right. We got to do something about it, whatever. And so, yes, I think when you say, if we make this a law, right, and we say, hey, that is sexual assault, and if we ended up with mandatory minimum sentences or something like that, women should be the ones that say what that should be, right? They should be weighing in. Right now, there is no mandatory minimum sentencing or anything like that. Each judge is going to make a decision on what they want to do with that, because it's considered sexual assault along with all the other sexual assaults. So they're going to look in the law book and they're going to say, all right, so sexual assault is, 1 year to 10 years, da, 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 da. As a lawyer, as a judge, I can always waive that and I can give them, let them go, probation, blah, 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 blah. The judges are going to make that decision on a case-by-case basis.
Always been happening.
Well, no, because it hasn't even been getting to the judge, right? And that's again why I think it's okay, and I feel okay with it being on the books and people knowing that, hey, this is sexual assault, and you can go to jail from 1 to 10 years, and the judge is going to make a determination on that.
And what I'm saying is I don't disagree. I don't disagree with your judgment. That might be a recommendation. Women like, that sounds fair. I'm not saying that you're way off because we talked about juvie and all that stuff. My thing is, just like you said, women led the charge. They led the charge for the Me Too. Me Too has always been happening. It took women to move the needle for us to finally say, you know what, we probably should stop. That's what Me Too really is. Us finally like, okay, we'll stop grabbing asses. We'll stop doing like that's what Me Too is. And so if women would have never said that, we always knew it was wrong. So I think we need to continue having that platform for them to say, okay, we agree what is wrong. What are your recommendations to make this, to help stop this even more? You telling us it's wrong has made an impact, but the thing about it is we know there's going to have to take some kind of reform or some kind of law to put this into place where men are still going to be men. Men are still going to do stupid stuff because knowing this is wrong has not stopped us.
Yeah, it doesn't. Like
And
I talk about shoplifting or anything. It doesn't stop shoplifters, right? It doesn't stop people from stealing. It doesn't stop people from robbing stuff, right? I think
It stops some people. It don't stop all.
it does.
Well, yeah,
but
and
if it's
that's what's
but
going to stop.
but
The
there's
people who
but
want
there's
to
no
follow the law, or the ones that are scared to be punished.
So let's be honest. If you knew grabbing an ass when you were in 8th grade or 9th grade could have sent you to jail, would you have done it?
Knowing me, I probably would have, but still.
But then you deserve to go. But then you deserve to go to jail. Just like if you shoplift, you deserve. Like the thing about it is, if you know this is wrong and you choose to do it, then 9th grade, you were smart enough to know that jail is not the place you want to be.
Mhm.
It's not like, well, he just doesn't understand because he's only 15, 16. Dude, my 6-year-old son knows he doesn't want to go to jail. It's not rocket science. Let's stop pacifying these kids.
So I guess my question to you is, what are you saying? Are you saying that it's not harsh enough? Are you saying it's too harsh? Are you saying like
What I'm
what
saying-
is it? Because it's a very, very broad range when you talk about what's on the books right now.
When we started talking in our conversation, there were all these judgments or punishments like, well, they should do this, or it should only be this, or it should be juvie, and then it'd be expunged, and yada, yada, yada. You know, do we want this to mess up the man? Like, we were thinking from a male mind of what they think is a reasonable punishment for the crime.
No, I don't think anybody. I don't think anybody gave it.
We literally said,
like, I was
we
the only one that
literally
said
said that.
I said juvenile court, meaning that it can get expunged, right? Like if a 15-year-old that ends up doing this, right, they're not going to register as a sex offender when they move into their dorm in college, right? Because it gets sealed away at 18. That's what I meant by juvenile, like not them going to juvie. It's juvenile court that's handling it. So a 15-year-old shouldn't be tried as an adult for sexual assault for grabbing a girl butt.
But that 15-year-old girl says, oh, so when he turns 18, does the memory of me being assaulted disappear from me? I think that should follow him just like this follows me. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but that's something we have to talk to them about and understand where they're coming from and how that impacts them before we can start making blind recommendations. I think your recommendation is fair, but that's coming from my standpoint. It's like a white person saying, okay, we'll give you reparations, $1,000. $1,000? Nigga, what? You know, it's like, well, we weren't going to give you anything. It's you're throwing numbers out there because we think it's fair. And I think that you're onto something, and that, like I said, there could be recommendations, but we really need to do, I don't know if it's a case study, there needs to be more going on for women to say, hey, this is the overall impact. Just, you know, I'm not saying we're going to give them.
I don't think that we should completely upend the legal system by that because juvenile court and adult court that's for pretty much anything, right? Unless you're tried as an adult, then it will be sealed when you turn 18.
But
That's what juvenile court is.
If there's a long-term effect, you're telling me that you don't think they should be tried as an adult. And if a woman can articulate just as well as you and say, I think they should be, what makes your stance, your knowledge? She's a subject matter expert. She got a fat ass.
Look, I'm not saying it. If she wants to bring that up and bring it through the courts, and the courts decide that, hey, any sexual assault is going to be tried as an adult, cool. What I'm saying is the system as it is today is that's what's going to happen, right? Like, they're going to go through juvenile court. It's going to get sealed unless it's so egregious that they do try them as an adult. They're 17, they're 18, they raped the girl, raped a girl, then they're probably going to get tried as an adult at that point. But a 15-year-old probably isn't. And even if they do, that, then they probably still are going to get it sealed because they're going to go through juvenile court.
I wonder if it should be more severe if it's done at school versus if it's done, like, you send your kids to school to be safe, you know what I mean, and not be violated. And like I brought up the club example earlier, it's still wrong, but like, I don't know, maybe it can be even an extra punishment at school. But
Yeah.
I guess so. I haven't heard this. Do we have a consensus on what the punishment should be?
I don't
Just a
think
suspension or
I think that's my
probation?
thing is
Yeah.
I don't know what the punishment will be because we gave multiple scenarios. You compared it to stealing a Snickers, and then I compared it to something like racism or whatever, reparations. And the difference to me is one is you steal a Snickers, you can replace that Snickers. The impact of sexual assault, the impact of racism, the impact of any of this stuff is long lasting. So the victim is seeking punitive damages. They're seeking reparations. They're seeking something. And so that's what I'm saying. That's like a group of white people telling us right now what reparations should be.
You brought up how I had got accused. I did, like, in the story, apparently they were going by video evidence. So I'm glad that it can't be it's got to be a little bit more than he said, she said. It's got to be like, you know what I mean? Like, we have to be fair about it as well. So I was glad that they used video evidence. And I'm not saying you always need video evidence because even though cameras are everywhere, there's still some places cameras are not.
I think, if we're saying you're forcing, I will answer your question in the context that if I was making a recommendation to this board of female counselors who are leading the charge on
Mostly
this,
female counselors.
mostly, yeah, because I think it would just be, we're not going to say whatever y'all say goes, but I feel like we need their insight. Just like if they ever decide to give reparations, I think that needs to be led by a black delegation. And it's okay to be like, not we're gonna sit this one out, but we gotta kind of let you, black people like we want $2 million. Okay, we gave y'all a shot. Y'all niggas tripping. Like, if they do throw out something crazy, like, hey, that's you're way too far left. Like, we understand, but that's just too egregious, right?
See, I guess that's the thing. I don't like that idea of we gave y'all a chance. Y'all came with this. I think it's just a collaborative. Yes, there needs to be women on this or whatever. That's why we have a Congress, right? There may be some women on there. There may be a women caucus, right? That's leading the charge and they're putting it together. But there are going to be a couple guys on there too, and like, think this idea of it only has to be them because there's fathers on there.
I never said that.
It's like my daughter, and so how's it going to affect my daughter? How I feel about it because it's my daughter, that type of thing. I think the law, I think the punishments or whatever, the degrees, right? Sexual assault, first degree, sexual assault, second degree, whatever, however you guys define it, which probably is already on the books. That's the other part about it. I mean, you probably need a lawyer to come out and say, hey, here are the laws. Like, there are laws that say what sexual assault is, and they say, what's the punishment on the books today.
But the
we
laws
just don't
aren't
follow
working.
through with it. No,
So the
it's
laws aren't
because we don't
working.
enforce them. Right. There's a difference of a law being on the books and a law that's enforced. Right.
Yeah, I
And
don't think
that's
we
the
enforce them.
biggest difference there is that at 15, they don't enforce it, right? And so but most schools actually do have on the books already. Sophie's school right now, if Sophie went and told the principal that some boy touched her butt or grabbed her butt, he is getting suspended. It's 100%. He's getting
But what if they
suspended.
don't enforce it? What if they don't enforce it?
That's where I would come in and say, hey, y'all have an actual book here, right? Like there's a rule book right here that says
happens all the
that
time,
if
but
that happens, he's getting suspended. So
So-
I need y'all to suspend this kid.
So I think what I'm saying is, yeah, there are laws on the book. They're not being enforced. So it means it's not working. Something's not working.
I think that comes back to we're still not taking it that serious yet.
Mhm.
The laws are on the book, but because we don't take it serious enough, we don't think it's worth.
tell you-
Like
I'm
I
tell you
said,
why we-
like I said,
I'm gonna tell you why
there's
we don't
laws
take
on
it
the books
serious.
about assault, like simple assault too, and they don't call the cops every time somebody has a fight at the school. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like there are laws on the books already. It just they need to be enforced and followed. And if it gets to the point where the school feels like we need to refer this over to the SRO or whatever, or the parents come up there and say, I want to press charges, I'm calling the cops and we're going to press charges. I don't think that's the school's responsibility to do that until it's egregious. I think it's the parents that should be calling the cops saying, I want to press charges on this boy. And at that point, they go through the system.
But no, Risey has a son. He don't want to spoil his little kid's life, so he ain't gonna he's not gonna press charges.
Go get a lawyer and you guys defend him in court then.
But no,
And
Risey's
see
not
if
gonna
the
press
judge
charges. Sophie's the one that's hurt. Risey's not gonna press charges because he doesn't want to fuck this little boy's life up.
Oh, like the dad doesn't want to do it?
Yeah. Or whoever. The mom is the
that's
you know
shit
like,
parenting. Like I don't know what to say.
and so at what point, just like assault, at certain point when when this happens, because in some DV cases, if there is evidence that this happened, somebody's going to jail. And so I don't know what the answer is. I think this is a conversation that we gloss over, we take as part of growing up. And let me start by saying, I'm not trying to screw this young man's life up. I'm trying to make sure that we're getting to a point where we're trying to deter as much of this as possible, that people are aware of what the consequences of their actions are, that women are protected and the young men are protected if they're innocent. I want to protect the innocent. But I think the question was, we talked about, we talked about being a daughter, having daughters, and then it's like, well, you got a son too. What if my son did it? And my response was, is protecting my son who's being an idiot, right, more important than protecting my daughter who's an innocent bystander? And that's the question. Because my son was wrong. There's no way to hide it. Now we're just trying to figure out, man, he's a boy, he's a good kid. How wrong was he?
Now Sky looking at you, how you gonna handle it tonight?
Yeah. It happens to my daughter, and she didn't do anything wrong. It's just your boy is just being a boy, and boys do that, da da da. And so that's the question, and I just know something has to change. I don't know what it is. I think we need to listen more to the victims. Listen more to the victims to understand the overall impact as we're determining how severe a punishment should be.
I remember in 9th grade watching, I forgot what class it was, but they showed us a video of, what girls need to look for. I don't know if it was just focused on girls, maybe just all of us when it comes to dating, what to look for when it comes to like date rape or stalking and all that type of stuff, what we call red flags and toxic now, or outright criminal behavior. I think again, man, I'm just gonna harp on it. It starts with education. We need to start telling everyone the severity.
We can all agree
of
with
this.
that.
Yeah,
We can all agree with
and
that.
that it
full-
is included.
That's one of the things. That's one of the things that shout out to Alabama. They have what they call Aaron's Law, and so what Aaron's Law does is in 7th grade they do exactly that. But they talk about sexual assault and like making sure that you see those red flags, being identified that
Including
what do you
groping.
do? Groping, yeah, it talks about all
okay.
that, but it talks about it at home. It talks about, resources that you can use, right? If it's at home, who do you call? If it's happening in the school, who do you tell? It does all of that. And so they have a full course on that. Unfortunately, parents can opt out of it, which
And a
I
lot
don't
do.
like, and a lot of them probably do, but at least it is offered for you. But
yeah, that's
and I'm
good.
hoping and it's more than likely most boys parents don't opt them out. I feel like it's more girls that probably opt out than boys. But in that class, they literally talk about that.
And I think they've always had something like that. But I think there's no teeth to any of the stuff we're teaching, right? Until at the end of this class, when we're in the Army, and I think in processing and when they give the sexual education class, and even though you weren't going to jail, but when they started showing you these pictures and talking about like black syphilis or black gun, I don't remember whatever it was, and they showed us like, and you get it, you'll never lose it, and they started telling, it was like the consequences of it told us what we not need to do, right? Like those were the things that are ingrained in your mind, where that I'm not trying to go to jail. And what was it?
I ain't
Boondocks?
trying to
Was
get that
Tom?
can't get rid of. But how many of our friends go raw? Anyway, they
But I
went
mean,
through that
you're not.
course and they
But the thing
still
about it,
raw
you're not
dog.
you're not gonna stop everybody. I mean, we're not gonna eliminate. But if you can take teen sexual assault down by 10%, 15%, that's a young
That's a win.
lady
Yeah.
who's not scarred, right? Even now, and I will give society some credit, these guys talking to my mentees, they talk about consent. Like it is a thing,
And that lets you know that like the education is happening, right? Like this generation is very different from knowing about consent, and especially the guys, right? That's their norm, and so I think the education is happening. I think it's working. And when we talk about the teeth behind it, if it does happen, what happens? That's why I'm so adamant about.
Well,
I'm fine with whatever the court's gonna do to them.
because they know they know they're going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
They know with grape and non-consent, they're going to jail, and so they're big on it. And it's crazy because sooner or later that consent is going to be ingrained in future generations. Because if you tell somebody too late that, you tell a 25-year-old in college about teaching about consent, it's like you gotta retrain your brain. I was like, how do I get things started? How I kick it off? That sneaky massage that you used to do, all the tricks of the trade. It's different, right? And so
it's a lot of gray nuance. I don't pretend to have all the answers, but I feel like any touching that starts off consensual, if you go to an area, you do something that she's not okay with, and she lets you know, I think as long as you stop right then and there, you should be good.
So
you try to keep going.
Exploratory.
Yeah.
Yes, no.
Right.
Like that Chappelle skit with the love cut track. He's like, and anal? No, not going down. Okay, yeah. Pretty much standard. Pretty much standard.
So. And I get it. Like I get it. I'm not that oblivious, but I mean, whatever we're doing, there's guys out there in 2026 that are grabbing 13 in a week. So something ain't working, right?
Whatever he gets sentenced to, which, by the way, he gets sentenced, I think it said this month, he gets sentenced this month. He's going to need some type of therapy or something. He's sentenced on April 21st.
What was he doing? What was he doing before that week? What was he doing before that week? Was he like on average? Because 13 is a jump, right? Were you like, okay, I'll do about 2-3 a week. And so like that was
And it didn't happen.
that was
Oh,
his
well,
safe
all right.
space. That was his safe space. And
Like,
then he
what
just
made him
got
pick that date? So
it's just
you know
like,
what?
man, I'm going for the record.
I can't take it no more. I gotta touch.
But you know what
I don't
happens,
know
like, when you touch that one, and especially if don't nobody do nothing, you be like, "Oh, I got away with it." And so then you touch another one, you
And
touch
that's the
another
other
one, and
part
then
too, man. Like, what recourse do girls have? Like I mentioned, because I'm not gonna hit a girl back, especially if I grab her on the butt. If she hits me, I gotta take that. But there are some guys we know that who you think you hitting, you know what I'm saying? So like, what recourse do girls even have if they're grope other than to go this new criminal route, man? Like, they just gotta damn near take it. Because a girl is genuinely not gonna beat a boy, theoretically. So I think this
yeah,
is good, man.
especially a boy that's bold enough to grab her ass.
Yeah, but I think it's embarrassing because guys do it in like in front of other people. Is lap. Sometimes all they can do is just go along with it, right? Just because it's
and it doesn't make it any more right. But I think most of our generation did it in hopes that she liked you. And in our mind, like, if we can do that and she don't trip, then I got a shot. You know what I'm saying? Instead of dumbass just like saying something to her, you know?
yeah, yeah, and that's why when we're talking about the punishment, I'm like because we're too close to it, and we don't want to criminalize them because when we criminalize that little boy, we criminalize ourselves. And at the end of the day, we don't want to be the victim. I mean, not the victim. We don't want to be the villain. Nobody wants to be the villain. I say that 1,000 times on the show. So let's
Which
go
made
ahead
it
and
a
close
great
it off.
conversation, man. I understood all sides when we were in that chat, man. So I don't have anything other than just, got my Three Brothers No Sense shirt on, man. ThreeBrothersNoSense.com. Get you some merch. Subscribe to us. We're on YouTube. We're on Inspire You on Air app via Contentville. We're on every podcast platform you can think of. So just subscribe. Check us out, man. We appreciate the support. Man, this August, man, we coming up on what? How many years now?
Finishing our 6th at that point. We'll be on our
That's
7th.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we just appreciate the love, man. And
7.
Started 2019. So
yeah.
So
Coming up on 7. Yeah.
I did the math.
Yeah.
So, but that's all I got, man.
What you got, Razi?
I just want to shout out to Haley, man. You guys know she's in PT school, and this Friday I'll be going down to Alabama State University for her white coat ceremony. So she is 1 year out from graduation, finishing up. So I'm just super proud of you, baby. I'll be down there rooting you on and everything. And I got 1 more year, and you can get a real job and get out my pockets. But
Girl doing big things, man. That reminds me too, man. That reminds me, Razi. New school, same results. My daughter, she switched schools this year, got an award for her art there as well. So it wasn't just the
Nice.
old school. It don't matter what school. It's middle school, high school, different high school. She won another award, and I think it may be in the art show for the county. We'll see, but it did win an award. So I am proud of you for that. So way to go, Jasmine.
Yeah,
And
man.
way to go,
Yeah.
Haley. Haley.
I told you.
Goodness.
I need that Basquiat before she becomes Basquiat.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
That's what's up, man. Congratulations, fellas. You guys are doing a great job. Just wanted to thank our listeners again. We've been doing this for going on 7 years, and we've had our ebbs and flows. We've been consistent and inconsistent, but I will say this: we do try our hardest to connect. Just because like we said in the beginning, it's therapeutic. We bond. We get to spend time together. All of us we ain't in the streets like that no more. So this is fellas times, but I appreciate you guys listening, commenting every once in a while when we get somebody just to comment and just say good show or disagree with usually me or Buffer Rozzy. It's always good. So thank you guys for sticking with us. And hope you guys enjoy the content because we're really coming from the heart. We try to be as honest and open as we can be, right? But thank you. And go find you a good Trump troll video or two. They are just great. They are right
Those
now.
Iran,
They
those
are,
Iran videos, man, they're hilarious.
man, the new cartoon with like Trump takes on Middle Earth. Have you seen those? Like Trump is one where he takes credit for everything. He stopped the war between rock, paper, and scissors. When I say pure genius, if you want to laugh and cry all at the same time, then go check out those videos. But outside of that, Three Brothers No Sense, 6 Rules of Podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.